All right. It's Baltimore City, University of Baltimore, School of Law. Peter Angelos Law Center. It's Tuesday, y'all. It's Tuesday, April the 4th, 2017. This is my public ask. When they say that you want something, you gotta ask for it. This is my public ask. I'm asking for the University of Baltimore law student, the dean of the university, Kirk Smoke, to get me 5 law students that are willing to take my case to the Supreme Court and represent me as an indigent. I'm asking for the University of Baltimore to give me University of Baltimore students to help me research my case to present it to the Supreme Court as an indigent. I am Dredd Scott, and I want to go as an indigent under Wainwright, Gideon versus Wainwright, all right? So like I said, this is my ask. I was illegally incarcerated. I was kidnapped by the state, like Dredd Scott. I was treated as property, like Dredd Scott. My property and my rights were denied, like Dredd Scott. So I'm gonna use the comparison of Dredd Scott with my case that I have to present in front of the Supreme Court. I can't go in front of the Supreme Court. I can go as an indigent, and I can go as a layperson, but I need legal representation. So I'm asking for the University of Baltimore, the University of Maryland, Doug Colbert, American University, to give me 5 law students for 6 months. And if you give me them 5 law students for 6 months, I'm gonna approach the Supreme Court. But before I could approach the Supreme Court, my delegates, my senators, my congressmen, and my elected officials need to respond to the legal mail that I gave them. Judge Cox has my request to approach the grand jury, and Judge Cox needs to respond to that request to the grand jury. If I go to the grand jury, I won't have to go to the Supreme Court, but these are my options. Never let nobody tell you no unless they got the power to tell you yes. It's called checks and balances. No part of the government is stronger than the other. So if the law, the judicial system ain't doing it right, you have the executive and the legislative branch that takes care of that. So it's checks and balances. Scott Schellenberger kidnapped me to keep me from making a movie and a documentary about the pay-to-play politics in Maryland concerning the prison industry. I named judges, lawyers, and politicians that get paid to keep black people locked up. Now, Peter Angelos' law firm in Towson has part of this information, and you can check my jailhouse diary. They're in it. Talks about drug abuse in the medical field in the prison industry, the pharmaceutical investment in the industry, all right? So this is where we at. It's Baltimore City of Lights. They got City of Lights, so this is proactive activism. Plus, it's my ask. Baltimore City of Lights, you see where I'm at. So it ain't no misunderstandings. I'm not doing nothing illegal. It's a legal form of political protest and asking for legal representation. That's my president, because like I said, it's the rules of the Supreme Court, and it's the Constitution. I got a right to property, I got a right to freedom of speech, and I got a right to talk about the prison industry and how you turned it into slavery under the 13th Amendment. We're gonna talk about inmates. We're gonna talk about the treatment of inmates, all right? And I'm gonna ask you to represent me to do it. Like I said, it's about the murder and the death of our kids. It's about policing the police. And Governor O'Malley been knowing about this since 2006. That's when I started my program in 2006. Statement for the police. I am Dredd Scott. I'm looking for Judgment Day, but I need some lawyers to represent me. I already asked Ivan Bates. I already asked Malcolm Ruff. I already asked Dwight Pettit. I already asked Warren Brown. I already asked J. Wendell Gordon. I already asked Murphy. I ask anybody that's a lawyer in Baltimore to represent me, but they won't touch the case. I wonder why. But like I said, everything I got to say is in these court records. You lock me up for terrorism, that's a defamation of character. That's a libelous statement. So we're gonna have this taken care of where it's supposed to be taken care of. University of Baltimore, please answer my request. I'll put it in writing. That's what's coming next.